Worked in the Miller Group studying cation-controlled catalysis. Kristen was the president and a founder of UNC's chapter of the National Organization for the Professional Advancement of Black Chemists and Chemical Engineers, which aims to increase diversity in science, technology, and math disciplines. Kristen was also heavily involved in the chemistry department's mentoring program, serving as a mentor during her sophomore, junior, and senior years. Following graduation, Kristen will pursue a PhD in organic chemistry at the University of California, Berkeley. Kristen.
Good afternoon. I first would like to say Happy Mother's Day to my mom, all of the moms who are here with us today, and those who cannot be. I know my fellow graduates and I are grateful for all the support you've provided over the years. Thank you. A few months ago, Dr. Freeman looked at me and went, "Kristen, you know how you love public speaking? If you can't tell, the answer to that question is no." But anyways, that's how I ended up in front of you today. I am honored and humbled to be speaking to my fellow classmates and their guests as we graduate from UNC with a degree in chemistry. I first need to thank a few people for all of their help along the way. The Chancellor Science Scholars Program, a program devoted to creating a more diverse and inclusive STEM workforce by supporting and preparing students from all backgrounds for PhD and MD PhD programs, has been my biggest support here at UNC. I want to thank Professor Alex Miller for being a wonderful and supportive research advisor over the years. Whether he is mentoring me on my honors research project or we are having discussions about STEM outreach and issues of diversity in chemistry, he is always supportive and has helped in all of my endeavors. I want to thank Danielle and Jill for all of their help with course scheduling, room booking, and answering our questions. I'm sure they'll be very happy that I'll no longer be showing up in their office every day. Thank you to all the professors who've taught and mentored us over the years, especially Professors Tiani, Ostel, and Zerker for being our chemistry advisors. And finally, thank you to my friends and fellow classmates for supporting each other to the finish line. I won't lie, these last 4 years have not been easy. The products of today's proceedings are quite clear: chemistry degrees. We started as a clear starting material when we entered UNC, and today are a clear product, which is indicative of a happy chemist. But the mechanism of how we got to today's product is different for every student. And although different, no one mechanism is necessarily wrong. However, I do think our training to become chemists can be boiled down to 3 core universal aspects: perseverance, community, and leadership. As we sit in this room, having finally completed our undergraduate career, we can all admit it was no walk in the park. From late nights in the library trying to identify an unknown organic molecule using only its proton NMR and molecular formula, to agonizing over messing up a titration in a lower level chemistry lab, as if the hot pink solution in front of us would ruin our chances of pursuing a professional degree. We have all struggled and we have all failed, but we pressed on. We kept our eye on the prize. We didn't quit. My friend once sent me a quote that said, "If at first you don't succeed, try 2 more times so that your failure is statistically significant." I would say that's what we did. We adapted and adjusted. For example, if you're trying to recrystallize something, whether for Orgo 2 lab or to get a crystal structure for the research project you're working on, you go to lab, set up the crystallization, and leave it to do its thing. But the next day, the product is crashed out as an oil. The crystallization didn't work. So you try again, but you modify the conditions. You change the temperature, try a different crystallization method, add a seed crystal, maybe try a different concentration of material. And you ask for help if you continue to struggle. But you don't stop trying. And the day that you walk into lab and see beautiful crystals is so gratifying. Those perfect crystals are the result of your hard work. This small example is applicable to the majority of our coursework and efforts during our time at Carolina. When things got tough, we didn't quit, but instead studied harder, sought out resources, and asked for help. Our degrees are the result of persistence and determination. This persistence and determination are the reasons that we will go out and solve big problems one day. We persevere and we press on. We have not gone through these last 4 years alone. From seeing our fellow classmates on Franklin Street after we beat Duke, to running into them on flights to and from interviews and grad school visits, we have become a community during our time at Carolina. Many of us took a computational physical chemistry lab during our time at UNC. I don't know about you, but for me, computers can be really frustrating. In this particular lab, I remember my friends at my lab table and I sitting together working on our MathCAD code. We thought we had done everything correctly, yet one of us had a red error box that would not go away. After 20 minutes of staring at the screen, we discovered we had simply forgotten a multiplication sign in between a 3 and an X that had prevented our whole worksheet from working. Yet it went beyond that. We would see someone from class, maybe someone we'd never spoken to, at the library, and they would say they could not figure out what was wrong with their worksheet. So we would sit and work together on it until one of us realized the instructions were wrong. We really needed to find an equation as y to get it to work. So we struggled, but we struggled together. And that is applicable to so much more than doing a PChem lab or trying to understand how to push electrons for each step of the citric acid cycle. Being able to work together and rely on each other for support is essential for answering the tough questions and solving problems. As we move on from Carolina, some of us will keep in touch as best friends, and others of us will become familiar faces at conferences, basketball games, and events to come. The world is much smaller than it seems, and this group that we will graduate with will be part of our network for years to come. We will not only press on, but we will press on together. During our time at Carolina, we have become leaders and role models. Whether we led a recitation for a chemistry course, held a leadership position in an organization like the chemistry fraternity Alpha Chi Sigma, started a new organization, or led on an intramural or club sports team, we've been given the opportunity to take point and guide others. These opportunities will not end here. The UNC chemistry department has given us the skill set to be great chemists for sure, but they have also given us a toolkit that includes writing and communication skills that will give us the opportunity to take on larger leadership roles one day. As Uncle Ben said in Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. For me, in this context, this means that when we get into leadership positions within chemistry, we have a responsibility to make the chemistry workforce more inclusive. And to do that, we need to be mentors, sponsors, and advocates for all students, but particularly for underrepresented minority students. So be a mentor. One of the first steps to breaking down the barrier to STEM is to spark passion, and that cannot happen without mentorship. Many of us have already served as mentors. As we've grown over the years, we have mentored students in some capacity, whether it be formally through the chemistry mentoring program or through helping advise younger students on what courses to take and when to take them. We can take these experiences and apply them to later opportunities to help younger individuals develop a skill, console them in a career, and create a safe space where mentees can share concerns and vulnerabilities. My graduate mentor is a great example of this. She has taught me so much in the lab and been very patient with me. But she is also a person I can talk to about being the only Black student in a chemistry class, or how hard it was at first to get my parents on board with the fact that I was not going to medical school. She may not have experienced all of the same things I have, but she's always given me great advice and listened to my concerns with open ears. Secondly, be a sponsor. Sponsorship is more than just mentorship. I would describe a sponsor who can not only advise you on your career, but can actively help advance it. One day, we will have power in an organization and can use that power and credibility to help advance someone else's career. At a Women's Chemist Committee luncheon during an ACS conference, the invited speaker, Dr. Lisa McElwee-White, said, "After you break through the glass ceiling, brush up the glass, reach back down, and pull someone else up." When we get the opportunity, we must look for other talented individuals and help them advance in their own careers. Finally, be an advocate. Advocates can speak positively about you to others. They can help you get credit for your work, are wonderful references, and believe in your ability. We need advocates, especially for students that may not be well represented in their field and may not know how to advocate for themselves. For me, I have amazing advocates at UNC who recommend me for things that push me way out of my comfort zone. For example, to speak in front of large crowds, just as I am today. Or to apply to graduate programs and scholarships I believe I have no shot at. I can only imagine they advocated for me in those same applications. As a student who was truly afraid to come to UNC, because I had been told that my acceptance was solely based on the color of my skin and that I was not smart enough to do chemistry at Carolina, I have been extremely fortunate to have mentors, sponsors, and advocates that have helped me get to where I am today. But everyone is not that lucky. And that's why I think it is especially important moving forward to give back and help advance the future. So, I challenge you as you move forward and are given the opportunity to hold positions of power to mentor, sponsor, and advocate for others. We will not only press on together, but we must press on together for others. As we move on from UNC, it is likely a lot of us will be experiencing change. Whether you're going to professional school, graduate school, entering the workforce, or have another path set out in front of you. Whether you're staying in North Carolina, moving across the country, or even moving to another continent. Whether you might be starting a long-distance relationship or moving away from your best friends, there is some change in front of you. But as change is among us and adjustments must be made, remember that we've been trained to persevere, build community, and become leaders. We have the ability to propel onward and work through adversity. If you're at all nervous like I am, just remember to press on. Every one of you has bright futures ahead, and I'm excited to see how you change the world. Congratulations, class of 2019, and always remember, the ceiling is the roof.